Boker Tov, we are not yet. Boker Tov, just a couple of minutes. I know it's a little bit late, but we're starting the 5th Perek of Masechet Pesachim, Mishnayot. So here, the Perek is going to discuss the sacrifice, the daily sacrifice of Korban Tamid, how that fits with the Korban Pesach. So the Mishnah opens, Tamid nishchat bishmoneh umechetza v'karev betesha umechetza. On a regular day, the Korban Tamid is slaughtered at hour 8:30 from the morning and is offered on the Mizbeach at hour 9:30. So midday is hour 6, and if, let's say sunrise is at 6 a.m. and sunset is 6 p.m. in exactly 12-hour day, then hour 8:30 is at 2:30 in the afternoon. So that's when it's going to be slaughtered, and it's going to be offered an hour later, the preparations of offering it. Now, why is it specifically at 8.5 hours? So technically, Ben HaArbaim starts after Chatzot. After midday, that could be already the afternoon. But because midday is exactly at the midpoint, and we don't know exactly when it could be, so therefore, we go at least another half an hour, which will bring us to 12:30, which we'll see on Erev Shabbat. It will be at 12:30. It'll be 6.5 hours. We'll see that in a moment. The reason why it's pushed to 8.5 hours is because after the Korban Tamid, there's no more Korbanot on a regular day. And therefore, in order for people to bring Korbanot, they would push it, even though they could technically do it at hour 6.5, at 12:30 in the afternoon, so to speak, half an hour after midday. They push it off a little bit so that people could bring their Korban, their Korbanot, etc., before the Korban Tamid. Be'aver Pesachim, now on Erev Pesach, nishchat b'sheva u'mechetza v'karev b'shmoneh mechetza. Ben b'chol ben Shabbat. On Erev Pesach, be it on Chol, be it on Shabbat, the Korban Tamid is done an hour earlier, at hour 7.5, and offered on the Korban, on the Mizbeach at hour 8.5. The reason for this is because Korban Pesach is different than other Korbanot. Korban Pesach is offered after the Korban Tamid. So we push it earlier so we can have more time. But Erev Pesach liot be'erev Shabbat. But if Erev Pesach is on a Friday, that's the only difference. Nishchat b'shesh u'mechetza v'karev b'sheva u'mechetza Pesach acharav. It's offered at 6.5 at the earliest time possible, and the Korban Pesach is after that because Erev Shabbat is always a short day. We see from here as well, because our daily mincha is keneged the Korban Tamid shel Ben HaArbaim, so the earliest mincha can be at the earliest time the Korban Tamid could have been done. And the earliest time it could be done, even if it's once a year, is Erev Pesach that falls on a Friday, which is at hour 6.5. So that's why mincha technically could be a half an hour after Chatzot, and that's called mincha gedolah, the earliest time, because it's gadol from then until sunset. And mincha ketana is the usual time when Korban Tamid was brought, which is at hour 8.5. Last Mishnah, short one. HaPesach sheshachato shelo lishmo v'kibeh v'yilech v'zarak shelo lishmo. So there's 4 components in the Korban Pesach. There was the shechita of the Korban Pesach. There was the accepting of the blood. There was the walking to the Mizbeach, and there was the sprinkling of the blood. All those things had to be lishma, had to be with the intention of doing Korban Pesach. If you had the intention, if the Kohen had the intention at some point to do a different Korban, I'm doing a different Korban now, Shlamim, whatever it was, then it invalidates the Korban. And therefore, the Kohen. Yeah, if the Kohen has in mind for a different Korban, accidentally, he's doing Shechita, I'm doing the Shlamim, it was Korban Pesach, it makes it invalid. The Shechita, accepting of the blood, the walking with the blood, and the sprinkling. So, HaPesach sheshachato shelo lishmo, if it was done lo lishma, v'kibeh v'yilech v'zarak shelo lishmo, or lishmo v'shelo lishmo, or let's say part of it was done with kavanah, part of it was done without kavanah. Meaning the shechita was done, Korban Pesach. When he was walking, he was, he spaced out for a moment and he thought that it was a Korban Shlamim. So that's not good. Or shelo lishmo v'lishmo pasul. Or at the beginning he starts lo lishma and then he ends up with the proper kavanah, it's still pasul. Keitzad lishmo v'shelo lishmo. How does it work where you have with the right intention and the wrong intention at the same time. L'shem Pesach or l'shem Shlamim. You have in mind for Pesach and for Shlamim, parts of it. Shelo lishmo v'lishmo, l'shem Shlamim or l'shem Pesach. If you have the negative intention, which is for Shlamim, and the right intention for Pesach, nevertheless, it's still going to be pasul. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen. Rabbi Hananiah, b'rakasha omer etzah, kadosh baruch hu. לזכות את ישראל לפי חכי בעלם תרומתו שנאמר על החפץ מהצדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר אמן